the mate Stokes has him in his top 4. So I'm interested to know why. Yeah, I'm interested top 4.
Listen. He's called him a footballing mega mind as well.
How can that be in your
What kind of compliment is that?
I'm not as impressed that they're staying up. At the start of the season, I had them going down. I'll be completely honest.
So what is going on, guys? I was gonna ask what you did.
I'm with you here. I can't lie. If we're comparing teams, and Key aren't that far off if you go off the last season.
Okay, no.
I
wanted to agree with you, but don't say that.
Amenyah, let me finish.
I want to back the Cobham boy, but you know.
Let him land.
If you go off of last season.
Yo, what is everyone saying? Welcome back to another episode of the Total 90 Pod. Today we are covering Manager of the Season, a topic that has been all over Twitter for the last week or two. But of course, we're going to cover it in our favourite way with a top 10 list. And joining me today, first up, he's one of Ten Hag's biggest bodyguards. It's never anyone else's fault. Stokes, how are you feeling about top 4?
I didn't think you were going to say my name. I didn't think you were going to say my name there.
I knew that. I was like, wait, there's no way he's swinging to me with that. There's no way.
No. It's Mr. Stokes. It's Mr. Stokes. How's it going, pal?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm very fair, impartial. I'm ready to make some good choices.
Yeah, that impartiality. Having seen your list, that's an interesting take, but yeah, I'm not gonna say anything in it. We'll get there. Next up, we've got someone who has experienced plenty of managers this season, so it'll be interesting to see if any of those managers make it into our top 10. Ali, how you feeling over there at Chelsea, mate?
Oh, it's good over here. You know what I mean? We've got one of the best managers incoming now, so a lot to look forward to at the bridge.
You definitely weren't saying that a while ago. No
he's achieved so much in the
you were referring to Poch's that a while ago. There's no shot.
Goodness me. And lastly, both this guy's teams have got a new manager this season, so it'll be good to see his thoughts on the expectations upon their arrivals and how they've done so far. Mav, how you feeling, pal?
Nah, I'm good, man. I'm excited for this because a lot of bias could creep in from a lot of people, and I think mine might have too,
I don't think it creeps in, bro. I think people are stomping.
I think it's stomping. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. But nevertheless, I assume everyone knows the rules, but just for clarity, I'll explain anyway. I have asked 9 people to rank their top 10 managers, Premier League managers that is, this season, based on the following criteria. I'm going to read it from my phone so there's no confusion. Results, tactics, coaching, expectations for their level before the season, improving players, blah blah blah, and whatever else you want to base a manager on. Of course, it's different to players, so it is what it is. You can include anyone who's managed even one Premier League game this season, whether they're there right now or they're not. Of course, putting someone first in your list gives them 10 points. Second place is 9 points. Third is 8. You get the point, so on and so forth, until 10th in somebody's list gives them 1 point. I then combine everyone's list all together to get their overall totals and get their overall scores. We have it in a little table with honorable mentions and then our top 10. Of course, if one person or one manager gets 10 points from everyone, that means obviously, total of 90. So very straightforward. And lastly, on the voting panel, I've kept it as balanced as possible. As you can see in front of you, you have Arsenal, Chelsea, United, Villa, and then on the mod team, we have the lower kind of teams. We have Spurs, Palace, Leeds, Swindon, and Brazil 1958 from Hath. So yeah, anyway, let's get straight into our honorable mentions. 14th place. For once, there's not 100 nominations for this one. 14th place. Only one man had this guy. He got 1 point. Alfie had this fella in. Sean Dyche.
I guess so. Respect to him.
What, the top 10?
Top 10?
Sean Dyche. This season.
A reach.
For some extra, I guess, context, if you like. When he was appointed at Everton, they were 2 points away from safety. They're now 1 point above the relegation zone. They got their first win in 8 games against Brighton.
Outclassed the Zerbi, so points for that.
Yeah, but like, is that it? Like, he beat us as well, I suppose. But like, what about all the games that they lost as well? I don't think Everton should be anywhere near relegation zone, to be honest. So the fact that they're still not safe with 2 games to go, yeah.
Yeah, but is that his fault or is that another Frankie Lampard job there?
No, but all I'm saying personally is that it's not as though like he took over and they've been flying
turned
up the table,
around.
bro.
Like, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I hear what you're saying about Lampard putting them there, but it's not like Sean Dyche has come in and taken them out. So it's like How does that qualify for a top 10? You come into a club and not taking them out of the situation they're in. Like, if they wanted to stay where they were, they could have employed any of us, and they probably would have stayed where they were. So I don't know. It's yeah. I mean,
They might still get relegated.
that's how he feels. Yeah, exactly.
No one's there.
They might be gone. So
Stokes, you rating Sean Dyche's thing this season?
Nah, I reckon he's watched the Brighton game and just got a bit carried away. But like, it's fine. not great.
Yeah.
No.
That's what it is, man. We're gonna see a lot of recency bias during this recording as well, by the way. But anyway, joining him, so there's 2 managers that had 1 point. The other one was me. But as you guys know, my hands are up already. It's always nice in 10th place to just, just a bit of a personal pick, if you will. So I've put in 10th place, but he's obviously come 13th for us with 1 point. It's a man who managed 6 games this season. Thomas Tuchel. Now, yes, the football was disgraceful. I agree. But in those 6 games, he had Chelsea's 6th place, and they got 10 points. Without those 10 points, they'll be languishing in relegation. So Thomas Tuchel, fair play for keeping Chelsea up. I have to respect what you've done there. Ali, do you agree with my analysis of Thomas Tuchel there, mate?
I see where you're coming from. I get the shot, but you know what I mean.
What would you do about
that
Thomas
kept
Tuchel?
us where we're at.
Really? Oh.
Yeah. Thomas Tuchel's what started the train wreck that's happened now, isn't it?
Hey, 10 points
he's
from
the
6
one that
games.
got this.
Yeah, 10 points from 6 games, bro. You were 6th place, bro. You were 6th place. You were flying high. But hey, okay, no worries. Anyway, that's 13th. 12th place with 2 points. This one was done by Tyler. Did this one over here? He's got Nathan Jones. Of course.
Wait, hold on.
What?
Is that the Southampton?
what?
I
I'm
think he had
very
a reason.
confused. Did he think we're
Yeah,
doing
he
top
said-
10 worst? Or...
No. He said he relegated Southampton, so he deserves a point at the very least.
Oh.
So I think he hates Southampton.
One of them.
I think he hates.
guys,
Yeah, I think it's one of them
man.
ones. Yeah.
Guys really said,
think
screw the topic, bias is flying. Oh my god.
And do you know what it is? In this list, right, the top 9 have a crazy number of points, and then there's just 5 others that are like, they barely even scrape any votes. So there's a clear top 9 managers, but
I
yeah,
expect
after that,
yeah, I expect that.
it's just anything goes. So, and in fact, I actually missed one. Sorry, CJ, mate, but he mentioned Steve Cooper for Nottingham Forest. He gave him like 1 point or whatever. So,
Because he's had to manage so
fair
many
enough.
players, or what?
Yeah, I don't know, but I forgot to mention him, so my bad. I guess I can put that at the start of the video. In fact, you know what, I'll do it now. And in 15th, Steve Cooper. Cold one, CJ, bro. Because of that, look, in 11th place, with 5 points, we have Roy Hodgson. Now, those people that have put Roy Hodgson, Stokes, Ali, Tyler, and CJ. So I guess we'll hear from Stokes, Roy Hodgson.
Yeah, I mean, Palace were in a bit of genuine trouble before when Vieira was Vieira's last game. He's done pretty well. Like they're defensively a lot better, and they've been winning. I don't know what the specific record is since he came in, but they're definitely doing a lot better than they were before, and I think he's done a decent job, to be fair.
Yeah, for me, it's I'm doing solidarity with the mate Vieira because they gave him the worst run of 10 games possible.
Yeah.
Sacked him.
No,
and
that's
they're like,
true.
yo, Roy, like, come, listen, old tight Roy, he's done his thing, yeah, and thank you for bringing Eze back, I respect it. But what's happened here, in my opinion, is like, you know the saying of like, the pickle jar? So Patrick Vieira, yeah, they asked him to open the jar and he was struggling. He was trying to open it. He loosened it, and then Roy Hodgson just came and opened it easily against
I
these
completely
rubbish
agree.
teams.
Which is why I can't rate him. Again, I said it on stream the other week. Like, Roy Hodgson's a decent manager, cool, but I think it was a bit unfair to sack Vieira. A lot of the games you'd expect Palace to lose, and then the easy games come, and they go, right, see you later, mate. We're bringing someone else in, and it's like, well, hang on a minute. Vieira probably would have got
let him
points
build
here
a bit
too.
of momentum
So,
and that, yeah.
like, I don't know.
No, I agree with that. It's just, yeah, I mean, I think just judging from the job he's done, I agree with you. Like, the run Vieira had was a disgrace compared to what Hodgson's had, but he's done pretty well. Like,
You're right. To be honest
They
with
are
you,
cooking. They are cooking.
I am
And he's got
purely
Eze
just
firing,
defending.
To be fair, I'm not going to call you complete idiots for
Yeah,
it. But
yeah.
He does fit the criteria for sure because Eze is cooking.
I'm just like a hater, to be honest. I had him like 11th. He was like just about there, but I said I don't like what he did to Vieira. I know he didn't shoot on target for 3 games, but at the same time, listen. Okay, Ali, what do you think of his mismanagement rather of Albert Sambi Lokonga. I think that's disgraceful from Hodgson. What do you think about
No,
that?
Hodgson's a man that knows what he wants in it. Like he knows he needs his team to play a certain way, do certain jobs,
So
and
a
he
good
just seems
footballer.
like he feels like he can't get that out of him. Yeah, it might be.
Fair enough.
And
I mean,
think
I
he's-
saw Lokonga crash it on you guys in pre-season in Orlando. 4-1. But, you know, that's okay. He scored a header against Koulibaly, but it's fine. It's cool. No dramas. That is our honourable mentions. Nice and easy there. So nothing too crazy. Again, I hear the Hodgson thing. I understand guys are gonna hit on Vieira, but for me, it's purely personal. That's why I'm like Hodgson. You know, we'll see what you do next year if you're still there somehow. We now go on to our top 10. From now on, you're about to see just how much recency bias is involved in the making of these top 10s. Because in 10th place, we have Jurgen Klopp.
Oh,
Let me see. No one here has him in other than Mav. So I guess we'll kick off with Mav. Mav, why is Klopp in your top 10?
If someone is quality, you know, they automatically get put on the list, and then I assess the rest of the criteria. And Klopp is that for me, right? On the run Liverpool have gone on recently, which yes, it's recency bias, but it's kind of crazy, to be honest. The fact that they are in a shout for top 4 is insane, and I don't think many other managers can put a run together like that.
Yeah, no, I hear it. It's 7 wins in a row. Stokes, what do you think about 150 mil to be competing with like Brighton and Tottenham and stuff for Europe?
Yeah, no, I similar. I do like Klopp. I think he's a really good manager, but to drop off 25, I don't know, about 25 points from last season with only one major departure, really, I feel like it's just been a really bad year. I feel like he's a good manager who's had a tough year. I think he'll be good next year, but not my top 10 personally.
Yeah, I can't lie. If I'm thinking of expectations before the season and I'm seeing Liverpool where they are,
Also top 4 team for me. Like to get him out of top 4, I think
they got to
everyone
be in
would
the
have had him.
title race even, to be honest, let alone top 4.
Yeah.
Ali, yeah, Klopp.
yeah, man. I feel like he's a big part of the reason they were in the mess they were kind of in. Yeah, the team ain't as good as what it was, but a lot of those signings are his signings, like people like Naby Keita, like players that aren't playing that well. I feel like he's got a big part to play in it as well. And obviously they're doing well now, but I think it's a bit disrespectful to have him, even to him as well, to have him in that top 10 for this season.
Yeah, I can't lie. Again, him and Hodgson, like, there's two that I was like, I can somewhat hear it. If Liverpool somehow get top 4, fine. That's incredible. I get you in my top 10 list, because how you've managed to scrape that, fair enough. But I'm not putting him top 10 for getting Europa League with Liverpool, man. That's unacceptable for what their recent standards have been. We move on then to 9th place. Here we go. This is where the jump starts to get a bit higher, and I think most people have these guys in their list. But like I said, it's recency bias pretty much from here onwards, because start of this season, almost no one had these guys to even get top half. They were saying second season syndrome with a bunch of NPCs in midfield. Thomas Frank is in 9th place. Out of everyone, I have him the highest. So this is why I get confused, because these guys were in like a genuine UCL battle, yeah, up until like, what was it, like April time. They lost about 3 in a row or whatever. Like I hear it. Obviously, season does end in May or whatever, so you can't just discount the last 7-8 games. That I fully get that. But technically, Brentford can still get a European spot if they were to win their last couple of games, and obviously results go in their favour. Unlikely, but I still think that's outrageous for their level. But guys are just not really rating Thomas Frank's thing, even though Brentford, most people would have had them, I don't know, 13, 14, 15th or whatever.
I mean, I've got him in 8th. I think no one above him, in my opinion, deserves to be below him. So it's just one of them. Like I do rate him as a manager. I think he's.
You just teed Amenyah up for something later. I'll tell you that for free. The way he just said that, interesting.
No, I'm worried. He's definitely a good manager. Like if you look at Brentford's team on paper, like you think, okay, they're not. There's obviously there's a few standouts, but they're not really a team that should be up there like that. They're probably like around about 12th, 13th, that kind of area.
Yeah, I've got him 8th place as well. No, I rate his thing differently. I think he's a very, very solid manager. I think he's another Graham Potter, right? In terms of, and let me land before you go crazy on that. But in terms of, again, I was saying about Potter, I think he's a great manager in a team that's not expected to do much, but taking that step up is always the question of, can a manager do that? I just don't know about him. There's just an unknown factor.
So in a manager of the season video, he is that low because you don't know if he can do it at another team. That's as a random hypothetical question.
No, I mean
it's a very wild scenario.
That's one of my main reasons. Okay. There's loads of factors, but that is one of my main reasons. Yes.
Okay, Ali, your thoughts on Thomas Frank?
I think the only reason I don't have him maybe a little bit higher is because I don't think he's there like tactically as the ones which I've got higher than him, innit? Like I don't think he can change a game as much with his substitutions or with like a tweak in his formation or something. I think Brentford just have this kind of scrappy way of playing where they'll get a result. Like they can play it long, they can kind of pass it around, but they haven't got an identity or something that, yeah, this is what we really do. So I just think he's a bit like he's just putting the pieces together there. I don't know if he's got the same tactical know-how as some of the other managers in the Prem.
Interesting. I mean, I heard him speaking on Sky before in post-game interviews, and yeah, seen him like quite the opposite. But no dramas, because we're saving the drama for now. Because here comes the chaos. In 8th place in our top 10 list, we have Erik ten Hag.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's 8th place. Obviously, yeah, he spent another 100 million to boost an attack that already had the GOAT Portuguese player and had the 100 million Sancho in there as well. All to have less goals than Fulham and Brentford. In fact, actually, as my stats tell me, they actually have 2 more goals scored this season than Leicester, who find themselves in 19th place. So I would like to hear from Stokes what he thinks about Ten Hag and him being in 8th place.
8th place, yeah. I mean, yes, I can see why some people don't like him, but I feel like to truly understand the job he's done, you've got to understand where we came from. And I know that sounds like you look at our squad and you think, oh look, money, man, 100 mil there, 100 mil there. But let's be honest, Sancho hasn't played anywhere near that level since he came, and there's a lot of problems, right? And obviously, you remember the games he came into. He came into that first Brighton at home. Everyone's thinking, all right, Brighton are a good team, but home game, like no problems, right? We got battered, and obviously then on to Brentford. Brentford, that was embarrassing, right? And then obviously you think pre-season expectations. I don't think many people had us top 4. I didn't have us top 4. I was hoping for somehow get into the race, but I think we've exceeded what I expected us to do. And in general, I like the way he's steadied the ship. Obviously, we're not scoring, but you can look at other areas. I know it's the manager's duty to get the striker in or whatever, but obviously we had the Ronaldo turmoil. We've had a few other issues. I feel like he's done a really good job.
I mean, he's responsible for the most disgraceful loss of the season as well. I mentioned those earlier ones, but I say season, maybe ever, in fact, in the Premier League. So there is obviously that to factor in.
No, there is that.
I'll go over to Mav before I continue, because obviously Mav is he has mixed opinions on Ten Hag, to be fair to him. So we'll hear from a part-time United fan.
Yeah, I've said this for a while with Ten Hag. I agree with Stokes saying that you have to look where United were before him coming in, and I do think, although that sometimes the results won't show it and sometimes the points won't show it, I think overall Man United are a better team, a better unit. They've got a better kind of ethos and community at the club between each other. However, for me, as I've stated multiple times, I think tactically he's a bit inept at times. I think his substitution choice is embarrassing, to say the least, sometimes. I think his lack of wanting to change and do something a bit different and have a plan B is shocking. His everybody plays mentality is insane as well. Everyone gets minutes. It's like a Sunday league manager. Guys walked over it because it's kind of worked out, but not really, because people were kind of seeing that it wasn't his fault. But how he handled the Ronaldo situation was absolutely shocking, and I don't know how he got away with that. And people acted like he managed that right. I think it was absolutely atrocious. He turned a club icon into one of the most hated players in like 2 weeks, and fair play to you doing that and getting away with it. But again, I agree with Stokes in that I'm kind of reserving my full judgment, although what I said was quite scathing just then. I'm reserving my full judgment on him. Just a little bit. Yeah, just a bit.
I was going to say, do you like him or not, bro?
I'm going to reserve my judgment on him until next season, because I am giving him the benefit of the doubt in the fact that there are holes in that Man United team, and there are lots of issues in that Man United team that no manager is going to fix in one season. Even the best managers in the Prem, I don't think they'll fix those issues in one season. So I am giving him that, and what he's done with what he's got, I think it's still pretty solid. So that's what, seventh? Yeah, seventh, I think that is. But yeah, that's my summary. I'll leave all if United get a striker. We'll see what it's on.
So what a stubborn, obnoxious clown. But I'll wait till next season.
Basically, that is the perfect summary, man. That is it. Yeah.
You basically hate him, but a little part of you is just hoping that he's the man.
Nah, but sometimes you've got to be a bit of a dick, though, don't you, to be a good manager? Sometimes you do. So
here's my issue. Yeah. So you mentioned that like Ronaldo situation, and obviously I agree. Like it was a stinker. My guy was crying on Piers Morgan and whatever. We knew Ronaldo had to go, but the way in which it happened, very dodgy. My concern came in December when United played Wolves away. Rashford forgot to set his alarm clock, and so he was like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "You're not playing. I don't need you. You're not playing." Half time, 0-0. United are struggling because they can't just do their smash it long to Rashford and hope for the best tactics anymore. Then he's like, "Oh, bro, Marcus, please, I lied, bro. Come save us, bro. Come save us." And they were all like, "Oh, what incredible management that is. What a man manager he is. That's remarkable, bro. If you're really about it, drop him and drop him properly." And then they were saying, "Oh, we sent Sancho to the mountains. Wow, what a great coach. He gave him time off, and look at him. He's back and firing. He scored like that one time, and then ever since he's been very needy again." So no, go on, Stokes. Go on. What are your thoughts on that?
The Rashford situation, yeah.
You rate that?
I don't mind it because at the end of the day, right? If you look at it, since that moment, has Rashford ever been late since, or anyone else been late since? No. So I feel like the objectives work, though.
Nah, man, I can't lie.
Yeah, but it's not as if Rashford was like not caring about the club and being disrespectful by not.
He was just late one time, accident, bro.
If you're top of the league and like you're challenging for the title, you can start doing nonsenses like that. Away to Wolves, a tough game in the Prem. This ain't the Eredivisie, pal. You can't be leaving the only player that's scoring goals out because he was late to training once. Like, I get it. So yeah, I don't know. I just think throughout the season he's been led away with a lot of very bad mistakes and very bad decisions. Can't go away to Liverpool and play Adalo over Wan-Bissaka when Liverpool's best outlet is their wingers. If he keeps making these mistakes, I'll have my real answer. You can have my real opinion, but I'm kind of trying to sit on the fence while leaning towards one side.
Yeah, that is not the fence.
I think we know your real opinion.
Ali, does it sound to you, yeah, after that 10-minute Ten Hag rant, right? Does it sound to you like maybe Mav is a bit of a Ronaldo fanboy and he's upset that
no, man, why are we bringing Ronaldo in?
Bro,
because that was a 10-minute rant about how bad Ten Hag is, bro.
The only reason he's on the fence is because he's got a Man United badge.
Ronaldo into this? I spoke about many things, many decisions.
No, I'm just saying that's like an underlying thing that maybe is impacting.
I don't know why you tried to.
You're moving like that Ozil things guy on Twitter. He used to cook Arteta all the time because that one time he dropped Ozil. I think that's what you're doing, like because that doesn't sound to me like someone who's like, yeah, I like his thing, and you went on a massive rant there, yeah, and I'm sure I don't have everyone's cameras there, but I think everyone's just sitting there looking and thinking, this guy hates Ten Hag, bro.
No,
people just sitting there thinking, this guy.
I swear, bro, exactly.
Allow it.
But fair enough.
I don't think I could go that hard on Graham Potter, Lampard, the lot of them, all of them together. I couldn't go that hard on them.
No, you definitely couldn't. I don't want to because it's your club, innit? And I'm able to do that because I support two teams and I'm plastic according to you. So I can give an actual opinion, and that is my opinion.
No worries. Stokes, your thoughts on that rant there from
I mean, there's some of it has merit, but like few things. I mean, we've had the buddy coach Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and honestly, he should have left a year earlier.
The year that he finished second, yeah, fair.
Nah, cool. Listen, it's second, yeah, fine. We'll move on. I ain't gonna speak about it. And stuff like I don't know. Like you gotta understand, right? If you look at like the time he brought on Fred recently, and Fred dropped a world class stinker. Like there are things where it was against Spurs, right? I think it was against Spurs. Anyway, if he didn't bring on Fred, if he just kept on going and things went and we drew anyway, everyone would be like, oh my god, how come he didn't bring on Fred? Why is Fred on the bench? You know what I mean? Like it's not always on him. I feel like there is issues with his game management. I don't disagree, but feel like he's getting a lot of stick when there's deeper issues in my opinion. We could do a whole podcast on this, but
Feel free.
Wan-Bissaka also not that good.
No, he's not. He's not. He's not at all.
And
Not at all.
I just don't want him to. I want to see him playing on the best of days, if I'm being honest. But yeah, anyway, we'll move on.
No, listen. Like I said, you're more than welcome to fight your case as much as you like, bro. Because there's someone that say that I don't care about, so I'm not gonna fight for them. But obviously, Ten Hag is one that people have very strong opinions of. I look at him as just a bit of a crybaby, to be honest with you. He moans every single time, non-stop. So it is what it is. But there we go. We'll see if you can keep on relying on Rash Bondahor smashing it knuckleball every game when his purple patch is over. We'll see, man. Anyway, 7th place, 1 point ahead of Ten Hag. This one, again, very impressive manager, but I think some of the recency bias is crazy on this. But no worries. We have Gary O'Neill of Bournemouth.
Jeez.
I think some people are watching too much Sky Sports and reading too much Twitter in this one because, listen, I get it, right? To keep Bournemouth up is very, very fantastic. And most of us, I definitely did. I don't know about you guys. I speak for myself. I had Bournemouth going down, definitely. So he exceeded expectations, no doubt about it. But, bro, it's match day 36 and they're just now safe. It's not as though they've been clearing home and away for weeks now, bro. 2 games left and now they're safe. The mate Stokes has him in his top 4. So I'm interested to know
Wait.
yeah, I'm interested in top 4.
Listen. Gary O'Neill, right? I don't. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend I know about his philosophy or anything like that. But to keep that shocking Bournemouth team up is brilliant. It puts him, for me, even in the running for manager of the year. Like, they are by far the worst team in the division. Their best player is probably Philip Billing or I don't know, Solanke. Like, it's terrible. They should have been a walking 20th player. So I feel like he just deserves a lot of plaudits. We've got the real strong league this year, and obviously there's teams like Everton, Southampton gone down. These are big like Premier League establishments, and I can't iterate enough how bad that Bournemouth team is. No offense to Bournemouth fans, but it's just he's done a miracle, and I feel like
I don't think there's many.
it's just in my eyes, it's close. It's about closest to footballing miracles you can get, and it's fair play to put him up there. Yeah, no, they're
this
shocking.
is not the first time that like a championship team has come up and stayed up though. We're talking like this is like some.
No, I mean, but like,
Ali, don't say anything yet, because I'm going to ask that question later. Don't worry about that one, Ali. There's a question that I'm waiting for. But chat to me about Gary O'Neill, Ali, because you obviously have him in your list. I mean,
he made my list, yeah. I don't watch Bournemouth week in, week out, you know what I mean? Might see their highlights, but he made my list based on that game against us. Because even though they lost, some of the football they were playing was actually brilliant, innit? Like, the one-touch play, the passing and building, like, he's got them cooking, innit? Like, he's got them to a well-worked. Yeah. Like, that was an absolute beauty. And it was like, I didn't think they had that kind of football. Even though they were coming up, getting some decent results in that, I didn't think they had that kind of football in them. So I give him props for that.
Yeah, no, I hear it. Like I said, and you're right. They do play nice football. I do agree with that one. Obviously, they came to Arsenal and they almost cooked us until that, like, the whole Reece Nelson comeback thing. But like I said, I fully believe he deserves to be there, 100%. It's just that some of the things that I'm seeing. And Stokes, all I'm going to say is, without saying where you've got him, someone on the like mod team has him even higher than you. That's all I'm going to say. And so I'm fascinated by just how much people are watching maybe Sky Sports videos to decide that Gary O'Neill has been
How long have I been saying
yeah.
that's where people get their opinion from, Amenyah?
Well, chat to me, Mav, because me, you, and Ali all have him in our top 10 in the same place. So, what do you think about Gary O'Neill and Bournemouth?
It's one of them. I've got him where I have, which is 9th, just because he has to get in the list for again. I agree with Stokes, everything he said, apart from how high that puts him. Some of the performances they've had from players that aren't that great, have been decent. So. He gets onto the list for that reason, but any higher than kind of the bottom managers is, I think, disrespectful to a lot of other managers, in my honest opinion.
He's just about he's just about to go out with 2 games to go.
Like,
Come
I
on,
don't know,
man.
man.
Ali, I guess you're the same. I'll go on, Stokes.
They've been safe for a little while, and obviously they go to games like Chelsea. They knew they were fine. Like, it's just, I mean, what's that? That's like 4 or 5 games to spare. They should be.
They were
should
officially
be
safe. Match day 36. That's what the facts are. So
yeah,
whether
but,
or
like,
not
come on, officially. But like they were up. Do you know what I mean? We knew they were up.
No, I agree with you, but I don't think it's warranting the sort of position that you've got him.
I hear you.
That's all I'm gonna say. But we'll get like the longer it goes on and more managers get revealed, I can say where people have certain people in it. Like then, of course, they'll see the whole list at the end. But nevertheless, Ali. Oh yeah, sorry, Ali. Your thoughts on O'Neal? I guess it's the same as ours, right? Like, well done, but
yeah, exactly the same. Still, like he's earned enough to be in the club, but not enough to, you know what I mean, get a seat at the table, at the big boys' table.
I completely agree, and that is why my number 6. I will direct my very first question to Mr. #Stokes. Because in 6th place, Stokes, can I ask you what you think Gary O'Neal, criteria-wise, has over Marco Silva in 6th place?
A complete overperformance. I mean, Fulham, they've got some very good players in that team, and you can look at Bournemouth, and Palhinha's quality. Like he was a very serious shout for getting into the team this season, in my opinion. And then you've got obviously a top goal scorer in Mitro, who I don't know how much he's going to end up on, but he's missed a lot of the games, and he'll be probably top 5.
Even more reason, by the way, the fact that he missed so many games. But it's okay, Karen. Yeah, cool.
But again, mismanaged that game, lost the team lost their head. You know, like that's all got being part of it.
Yeah,
I rate him as a manager. Okay, yeah, you know, you're right. All right, my mistake, Carabao. I do like him as a manager. I just think if you look at that team, it's starting to get less and less surprising because they've got a lot of decent players in there. They keep a very, very tidy home record. I'm not as impressed that they're staying up. At the start of the season, I had them going down. I'll be completely honest. But...
So what is going on, guys? I was going to ask what you did.
I'm with you here.
But I had Bournemouth as a 10-point team, kind of like Derby levels, and then you got Fulham, who on paper aren't really that bad. For me, it wasn't an over. I feel like he could have even gone better because I feel like there was a point where they were edging towards the top 6 for a while.
Yeah, they were, and then
I think
obviously Mitro lost his head,
and they went on recently. But yeah, I think he's done a very good job. And
well, do you know that they can still technically qualify for Europe as well? By the way, whilst Gary O'Neal has now officially secured safety or whatever, 2 teams that came up together. And by the way, for your information, Bournemouth have spent more than Fulham this window or this season.
Fulham have got a lot of players that they kind of
Fulham went and got Leno for
Tom
2
Kenny.
million. They got Willian cooking, bro. Their wingers is Willian, and then like
but they got Andreas Pereira, like Mitrovic. They were playing very well.
I don't know how the team difference is as wide as Stokes tried to make it out.
Are we acting like Pereira was like some superstar now? Come on, man.
Like if we're comparing teams, Mitro and Solanke aren't that far off if you go off the last season.
Okay, no.
I
wanted to agree with you, but don't say that.
Amenyah, let me finish.
I want to back the Cobham boy, but you know what I mean?
Let him land.
If you go off of last season, the gap isn't as huge as it looks now. But this is me bigging up.
Didn't Mitro break the
Silva.
record or something?
Yeah, he did. And Solanke was
Solanke
was also banging in goals last season, and I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure he would have got either broken the record or be level with the record if Mitro hadn't also done it in the same season, right? And now we're talking Mitro as if he's a seasoned Prem striker because of Marco Silva, because of what he's done with him.
I agree with that part.
Which is insane to him. Again, Palhinha came in this season, so like again, that's one of his transfers. So we can't be like, but they've got Palhinha, yeah, because Marco Silva bought him in, which is part of being a manager and a coach and managing a team. So like again, the reason like Williams cooking. You know, again, Pereira, who is everyone would happily say pre the season is dead, knackered, awful, Man United reject. Now all of a sudden he looks great. Wete, who's awful, looking amazing. Robinson, who no one gave a niche about before the season, was one of the best left backs in the World Cup. Now I can't lie, Marco Silva's being disrespected here because the job he's done.
This is why I say it's recency, man. It's because he fell off recently.
It's insane.
Willian hasn't been good since 2 years before he left Chelsea, and he's got him playing out there. I'll take Willian this season over most of our wingers.
Nah, he's done a mad.
I've got over all of them as well. I think current Willian starts for Chelsea, but that's a topic.
Yeah, no. There's a big shout that he does still. I won't even lie.
But yeah, Stokes has him below Gary O'Neill. Maybe because he's English. Maybe there's some sort of English there. I don't know what the vibe is there. I don't know.
Listen. You guys, you're underplaying it. We're talking about a seasoned international, like, renowned name versus Dominic Solanke. There's a major gap there. I know there's a major gap.
I agree with that
well.
part. I agree with that.
Solanke got 30 goals in the
it.
championship last season.
He got 29, and Mitrovic got 14 more goals. It wasn't close, man. 14 more goals than somebody is not a close. Like, it's not a close fight, man. That's a massive gap. I can't lie. But anyway, it's calm. No shame in him being in 6th place. Top 5. Here we go. 5th place. Unai Emery. It's a random fun fact for you guys. Since he arrived, he's got. If you look at the table since he's arrived only, which is obviously hypothetical, but anyway, he has Aston Villa in the top 4. So yeah, he definitely warrants his place there. Ollie Watkins looks like a bags MAV. You are a Villa fan. You rating Emery's thing?
Yeah, I am. Again, I'm not going to sit here and say I trusted in him when he first came. You know, there's proof of me saying that I was unsure with how he was going to be. You know, obviously we got question marks over his time at Arsenal, and that's probably been part of the reason why I guess got carried away a little bit with where I've put him. Maybe Ollie Watkins has turned into one of the best strikers in the league because he's obviously told him to stop running around like a headless chicken. So yeah, I think he's done an incredible job, and I think he's exceeded basically everybody's expectations.
And Stokes thoroughly agrees because he has him higher than you do, in fact. So
Fair.
Yeah, I mean, it speaks for itself, isn't it? Like, he's just he got. If there was a worst top 10 managers, I'd have Gerrard on the podium, and he's come and he's come in and he's turned Villa into one of the like scarier games in the league. Like, they got. It's not just that either. It's the football they play. I feel like the way he's using Jalen Ramsey now, Jacob. Sorry, Jalen's the NFL. He's just he's like. I don't know. I like the way they play. I expected them to beat Spurs, you know, and that's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
and,
I agree with you. I agree. His Arsenal time is a bit scary because he also had I think it was like 20 games or so when he arrived where it was looking, his record was outrageous, and then it was kind of papering over cracks after a while, and then it was like, uh-oh, what's going on here? So you'd hope for Aston Villa's sake it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, maybe he's built for them kind of 7th, 8th, 9th kind of teams. The only thing I will say is I do not rate his drip, man. It's that gilet that he keeps rocking. He needs to get rid of it, man. Like, just go put on your suit again or put a tracksuit. But that jacket thing is not banging for me. That's my only sort of issue with him. But you're right. Both of you guys, what you said, I fully agree with.
I agree in it, but I do think there'll probably be a bit of a drop off going into next season in it, because I feel like he's done well with his team, but this Aston Villa side, like, the players they have are very good. They've got quite a few good players, especially if you compare it to like the Brentfords and Fulham and the rest of them that are in and around that area. I feel like they've definitely got the best team there. So he's doing what is expected of that team.
I'd actually agree,
Yeah, no, squad-wise, they should be here. But I guess based on what he has done this season, which is take them from where they were up to here, I guess that's why he's got to get in there. But yeah, there's not really much argument on the Emery thing. We'll just see what happens next year. Like I said, I'm somewhat concerned by how much Villa fans are gassing it because I've seen this story before. I know how it ends, but it's okay. We'll see. We go to 4th place. Listen, he's incredible. But after he knee slide at our house for no reason, I have to start hating on him. We have De Zerbi. I am now becoming a hater as of just the last 2 days because I have a fun fact for you guys. Let me know what you guys think of this. No, let me give you guys a fun fact about this De Zerbi fella. I do that De Zerbi in inverted commas now, in fact. Under Graham Potter, Brighton this season were top 4. Since his departure, they've dropped down to 6. What a shame. I'm just presenting the facts. I let you guys, Stokes, what do you think of De Zerbi? I'm just saying the facts so you can give me your opinions.
No, I agree. I think very good man job. Very clearly got some very good, very interesting ideas.
Oh, wait a second. Hold on. Before you finish, hold on. I've just realised why I've gone to Stokes. He has him the lowest out of everyone on the entire thing. So yeah, love for that, Stokes. Keep on agreeing. Go on, agree with me.
Like I said, good gaffer, but obviously the other managers seem to respect him. I get that. He's on a great run recently as well. Like, however, has he really propelled this Brighton team? I don't think so. In my eyes, he's not really changed anything. He's not really come in and propelled them as much as people are. He's getting a lot of gas, and I do get that. He does seem like a very knowledgeable tactical guy, but I don't really see it as much as other people see it.
Yeah, you obviously have him below Eric Ten Hag, for example, in your list, which I find
Insane.
remarkable. Even as a deserving hater, I find
The turnaround that United have done compared to the standard like straight line that Brighton have done, that's my reasoning for sure.
Okay, listen. Let me take off my hating glasses or goggles for a second. If I'm being serious, I understand what you're saying about the signings, but it's still his job to get the most out of them. And this guy, he's got people like Dunk and Webster. Yeah, Dunk and Webster playing like one-touch rondos with opposition strikers. That's not normal, bro. He did it against you guys in that McAllister 1-0 game, where I'm thinking, how are you just playing at the back with no like drama whatsoever? He did it against us at our house. I cannot understand how you'd put Ten Hag above him, but like I said, I am just going to be a hater, so I will point out that when Graham Potter left, they were fourth. But you know, make of that what you will. I do hear your point about they haven't exactly gone way higher.
The thing is, a lot of these answers seem to be like for the last one we had, Ali, who were we just talking about before? Emery. He was like, he goes, I don't have him that high because I think next season, do you know what I mean? Like that to me, that's meaningless. Like next season, he could be the worst manager in the league. I'm still going to put him based only on this one. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I've done. But this season, I'm not.
You're not moved.
No, not enough to put him higher than I'll put him for sure.
He's more moved by Gary O'Neill. But anyways, Mav, can I hear your thoughts on De Zerbi, please?
Yeah, I don't understand how you can put this manager low. If you watch Brighton under Graham Potter, although they were doing well, if you watch them now, the play style change is insane. Playing one-touch football, not doing long balls to Solly March, running down the wing and trying to get on an end ball. You know, they're not just banging it into Danny Welbeck and asking him to do something with it. They're not just finding Trossard and hoping he creates a bit of magic because he's that type of footballer. They are actually playing teams off of the park. No matter who comes on the pitch, no matter where they play, Caicedo goes into right back and puts in an amazing shift out there, you know, consistently.
Wait,
and
how do you know?
Amenyah's going to love that now because I've got to be honest.
Champs. How do you know? How do you know? You were watching it. You were playing champs. How do you know that?
Whatever, man. Anyway. So,
no, but you were playing champs. So how do you know that he was sick at right back? Was it because I told you?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Fair enough.
He is up there as the managers.
No, reasonable. Ali, go on, Stoke. Yeah, you have a retort for that one. You're not a fan?
I don't agree, to be honest. I don't think that if you look man for man, they shouldn't. I think there are about like what. Where are they on the tier in between 6th, 7th, and 8th? I think that's the kind of this level of squad they do have. This.
I'm going to ask you a serious question. So you think they have a better team than Tottenham, Villa, Chelsea, West Ham?
I think.
You think they've got a better team than all of those teams?
West Ham.
They've definitely got a better team than West Ham. This could be controversial.
Barely, that's my point. Only because they're performing so well. But
West Ham
really?
Man for man might have a point.
Heavily underperforming. But
don't know, man.
You take
what about Aston Villa? I thought
Harry
Aston
Kane
Villa
that Spurs team. Absolutely, Brian. Man for man's better.
What?
Yeah.
In my opinion, though, you are saying that because of what De Zerbi has done with these players.
But
I think if you ask the question in summer,
okay. So last season, Graham Potter against Manchester United, have they performed better in any game this season than he did in that game? I don't think they have.
Literally, like 2 days ago.
Yeah, Arsenal game. Bro, that game was a masterclass. Like,
watch that game, and the football they play was spectacular. So
they hit it long, and Danny Welbeck bullied people.
Nah, that's unfair.
The only reason why I hear what you're saying a tiny bit, is because start of the season, Prem predictions, people were putting Brighton around 7th, 8th, or whatever. Guys were putting Brighton there, to be fair, myself included. I mean, I hear what you're saying. I do hear what you're saying. Maybe there's a lot of gas on it, but to have him as low as you do, don't know about that one.
That's the kind of manager I want on my touchline. If we hadn't already raided them once, I'd say let's get him in. But don't want to make the same mistake twice. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, fair enough.
But he's actually everything you want from a manager is actually crazy. He's got it in it. Like, he's tactical. He's man management. The way he handled that Trossard thing was
even the Caicedo one. To be fair, when Caicedo was crying to go, and he was like, nah, like you ain't getting nowhere, but play for me anyway. You have to respect him. Guys like Ten Hag
as well, you know.
He's brought in 19-year-old
exactly. Guys like Ten Hag, they were crying and saying, "Oh, go and do your Piers Morgan interview. Like you're not playing, blah blah blah." De Zerbi said, "Bro, you're out." And I think they dropped Caicedo for the very first game, like after the window. They dropped him. They won. And they're like, okay, cool. Now you come back in. Not oh, please, Rafa, come and save me second half. But anyway, we're on to our top 3. Now, our top 3 is separated by 6 points.
Ooh.
Which is fascinating. In third place, the gap between third and second is 1 point.
Ooh.
Our third place manager of the season, Mikel Arteta. I'm not even going to comment. We clearly have been watching too many Gary Neville clips. So I'm going to start with Stokes, who has Arteta not even in his top 5.
Nah, that's not true.
No, Roberts, no, sorry. He has Arteta 5th. Sorry, has Arteta 5th.
I love it.
Yeah. Can I hear why he doesn't even get in your top 4 managers?
Listen, for me,
Yeah,
I don't think he gets a lot of plaudits, right? And he's done a very good job at Arsenal. But in terms of developing the players, I mean, if I look from the start of season to now, I'm seeing players deteriorate rather than get better. And I don't feel like he's getting improvement from the squad. I feel like there's a few players that have actually started to reach their true level. And it was a very good start to season. They started out hot. They played very well. Tactically, he's very good. They got a very good start to games. They start every game so fast. And as much as I dislike Arsenal and the fans and the staff and everything, I do understand how well he's done. Absolutely. It's just I think next season we'll see the truth. Maybe I'll be wrong. I don't know, but yeah.
Can I ask?
Yeah, go on.
Can I ask you one question, Stokes? Because I want to see how far you're going to take that cap you just said.
Yeah.
So, honest answer to me. If United had this season that Arsenal have had, you would have Ten Hag as the second best manager in the league. Lie to me, please.
That's right.
So why is Arteta not?
Because I don't like the club.
Okay.
So you could have just said that rather than the whole waffle about like some players have become bad.
You just said,
You know
you
what?
should have done what Ali would do with chess and just say, I just don't like Arsenal, so I can't put him up there. But yeah, no.
You know, I was speaking and I was hearing myself, and I didn't even know what I was saying. But you know what? It was true.
You know what? I respect that you're being honest now. That
I don't like the club.
No more questions from me.
Yeah, because I was thinking, like, how am I even going to argue against that? Like, you're just saying things, bro.
I was just saying words.
Look, I've tried for 3 years now to hate on Arteta, and don't get twisted, I still hate him. Don't like the guy. I don't like him in his interviews after, but I got to give it to him a minute. What Arsenal have done this season is mainly because of him. He's like, the players know exactly where they need to be, where they need to run. I think that comes from him and his team kind of thing, innit? But the only thing that has taken him not to be like number one for me is I think his lack of experience has cost him again, innit? Where he doesn't seem to be able to calm the players down, and I think he's too much passion and heat and kind of excitement that he doesn't calm them down when they need to be in it to like control the game or just keep composure.
Yeah, no, listen. Well, I agree with most of it, apart from the like calming down thing. Because the last 2 months, I barely even see Arteta animated on the touchline, apart from literally the very last game when he was fuming at the Martinelli tackles. Me looking at it objectively, I understand Ali's points. As for Stokes' points, forget whatever that brother was saying. I don't know what happened there. Like, I fully agree. It's a whole season game. It's not just based on what happened in the first 33 matches or whatever. You have to include everything. And yes, the last month and a half or whatever has not been what you'd expect. Even though we had beat, Newcastle away, Chelsea at home and whatever. But I do feel like we're fighting against genuinely. You could have an argument at some point for one of the best Prem teams ever.
No, that's facts.
They are winning
that's facts.
every game. Like, doesn't mean that we should be losing when going 2 up or drawing. Sorry, when 2 up. I fully get that. We have thrown it from a position where we could have done something very, very special. We haven't, but most of these teams that are talking, some of them were in a title race for a week or two. In the case of United, and Ten Hag is getting, by the way, very close to Arteta on Stokes' list. Youngest team in the league. I think you learn these lessons, innit? Like you said, by the way, about the players or whatever. It seems as though everyone's an overrated player at Arsenal, because they say that Martinelli's overrated, Gabriel's overrated, Saliba's overrated, Ben White is overrated.
Yeah.
All the midfielders are overrated as well, but yet somehow we are taking Man City to. Well,
No,
not the
see,
last day
this
anymore.
is interesting. That's your perspective. That is very interesting. But my perspective is, I'm hearing, oh, by the way, Arsenal got the best 2 centre backs in the league, Saliba and Gabriel. Oh, Zinchenko best left back in the league. Partey best DM in the league. Got the best 2 wingers in the league. So you should be top, no? Surely. But
No.
I don't know. Maybe that's just some delusional fans. I'm not sure. But
No,
I've
because
been hearing that all season.
I think there's balance. So you can tell me about what you hear from fans, but what I like to do on here is bring up things that other people on the panel themselves are saying. And so I hear you talking specifically about the players that are massively overrated and guys like Saka and whatnot being very overrated.
No.
That's why
I'm not. I don't. I like Saka. The centre backs are a bit
heard-
overrated, but.
Okay, yeah, fascinating.
I really like Arteta. I wanted Arsenal to win the league. Unfortunately, they didn't have enough to do it. The way he's developed the players is literally mental. I think that the transformation in Gabriel and Saliba and Ben White, the fact that he was a right back up, centre back up until this season, by the way, and he's now a right back that can defend almost as well as Wan-Bissaka, not as good one-on-ones, but can definitely attack better than Wan-Bissaka, and he's only attacked for 1 full season of his career. The turnaround in Xhaka, absolute testament to him. For me, and I've said this before, and I said this why they were still on top, I still think he's got a lot to learn. I think I agree with the fact that the way he is on the touchline doesn't help the players, or hasn't helped the players in some games. For me personally, it's kept their adrenaline far too high, and they've made mistakes, and it's led to mistakes and led to drop points in some games potentially. But yeah, no, look, I'm being nitpicky. I think he's been great.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
with the what Amenyah said, like it's very true, and because I watch a lot of Arsenal games, I'm always rooting against them. He hasn't been animated, and I don't think that's a fair comment, to be honest. Because
I think that's
He's
changed.
kinda-
I think
this guy's
that's changed
sports thing,
recently,
you know?
though, right? When
No,
they started to, it has though. There's no about it. It has.
no.
It definitely
been
has.
it's not
couple
true.
months. It's
The
been a couple
downside
months.
It's
has
been in the months that they've started to drop points.
No,
he was calmer. He was calmer prior to the downside in form. So I don't really see the correlation there.
I fully. Stokes is a massive hater, but for once he's not lying about Arsenal here, man. Arteta's not been doing that nonsense for a long while.
It definitely is a factor, right? At the end of the day, I've still put him high up. I respect him. Like, I'm not saying it's literally the reason you've lost the league.
I agree with
or
your
whatever,
poin't,
but
but
it's
I'm just
definitely
saying
a factor,
that it's not
right?
a valid one. It's not really a valid one.
In the
It's
38
before the
game
losses.
season, we're going to ignore how he acted in, let's say, 25 games, right?
Those
That
are
was
the
their
25
best
that were the
25.
top of the league. This is what we're trying to say.
No. But
He
that's
stopped
not the
this
point I
before the
made.
losses were happening.
So he did it for 25 games. He's now stopped it. So I'm not allowed to say that what he did in 25 games is a negative on him.
No, because you said they were leading
Yeah,
from
come on,
mistakes,
man.
but it wasn't
Yeah,
true.
come on. You're saying this is you said actually it's one of the reasons why they start making mistakes and losing games. Like, what are we saying here? But that's not what's happening. Just say you know what fair is. Like, I didn't know that. My bad.
Yeah,
I don't
but
watch
even
Arsenal.
not doing
I'm
that,
busy
but
playing
not
champs. My
necessarily
bad.
being
Right.
not necessarily being stood up and telling the players
Okay,
to calm down and,
even,
you know what I mean? He's not doing that either.
Yeah, and even some of
Nah, this-
some
yeah,
of
this
his
is
post-match
lazy.
like commentary and stuff like that.
Go
You know
on.
the way
What?
the
What's he
way
said in
they've
post-match?
acted up.
No,
Fine.
go on, give me
You'll be
examples
upset about it.
of
I get it.
that,
I
though.
get it. It's sore right now. I get it. I'm not allowed to say
No,
something
no,
a
'cause you're
manager's done
you're
for
making
25
things up.
games
You're
this
making
season.
things
I'm
up.
not allowed. No, it's fine, Amenyah. It's fine. It's actually fine. It doesn't matter.
No, don't
What's
make things
happened
up, 'cause that's
has
what the
spoken for
debate.
itself. I don't actually need to like prove my point here. I don't care enough. Even if he's changed it around now.
You keep
know?
you keep saying that, but you were talking about it being the reason why he was making mistakes recently. Stokes heard it, I heard it, Ali heard it as well, but he's not backing it for whatever dumb reason.
I said it's a reason.
We all
that
heard
could
you
have
say
led to
it.
mistakes and drop points. I did add the could have. I didn't say as definitive as you're making it out. And you can
I'll
actually
put the footage
you can
there
actually
as
watch
always.
the
I'll
footage
put the
back.
footage.
I said could
I
have
will put
led to
I will
mistakes
put
and
the
drop
footage.
points. I did
I
add
will
the
put
could.
the
So,
footage there.
but
'Cause
you
this
can watch
is
the
this
footage
is
to confirm.
lazy.
It's kept their adrenaline far too high, and they've made mistakes, and it's led to mistakes and led to drop points.
That's nonsense that came from Gary Neville, by the way, from that Liverpool game. I think it's overconfidence in terms of they just started kicking the ball like they were in the park or something. They thought that they were the best team in the world. And at a point, 2-0 up at Anfield, I thought we're the best in the world as well. For the first time, I was like, yo, we're going to win the league. We're the best team in the world. And then 2-2 happened. And then from then on, I was back to like, oh yeah, Man City are going to win it the whole time. You tried to talk about how it was the reason recently.
So a lack
we
of
proved you
so
wrong,
you don't agree with
and
a
now
lack of
you're saying-
emotions. You agree it's a lack of a specific emotion, which is or too much of a specific emotion, which is overconfidence.
What? What are you
So
saying,
so
bro?
it's overconfidence, right? That's what you just said.
One of the reasons why we started dropping points is because we got complacent when we were 2-0 up or whatever in those games.
So
It wasn't like
So
we
that's
were,
down
we
to
were
him.
nervous
So
or
an
That's down to
emotion-
him to get that out of the team.
So we can't say his emotions might have leaked to the team, but you've then described an emotion which could be the reason why you are where you are, right?
No, but
You were talking specifically about them making mistakes because he was running
The-
and jumping around.
the interesting thing about-
No, I didn't. I said the way
Okay.
he is emotionally and stuff, etc.
Okay. Yeah, Arteta, the one that looks overconfident, the one that
the interesting
wasn't
thing
speaking
about
Arteta
Arsenal,
always.
yeah,
And I've also mentioned like the way he talks in post like match.
And I
conferences,
asked you for an
which
example.
is overconfidence.
With, like, Arteta being overconfident in post match. Yeah, okay. Now I know you're just waffling.
What do you mean? You literally just said that yourself. Are you trying like? Are you
in post match
trying to,
interviews,
like,
Arteta
just-
was overconfident. Arteta was. When did I say that?
No, you said.
Did anybody
you
hear me say
said
that?
Overconfidence, right, and complacency. Where does that come
From
from?
the players on
does
the
it come
pitch.
from the dinner ladies, or where's
No,
it come from?
tell me what game afterwards in the post match interview you
What?
watched. That
No,
he
no,
was
no, no, no,
overconfident?
because you're doing
I'd
your
love to
usual
know.
thing. You're trying to tie me up, so I'm going to ask you a question.
It's not
where
tying
does-
you up. You're
okay,
talking nonsense, and then you get
me
caught
and
out on
Ali
it, and you
say
blame me.
his manager style, his emotions, his has leaked onto the team. You've then said his over,
that's not
them
what
being over complacent might have been why they've. So where are me and Ali wrong? Because you're trying to make us sound wrong, but then you're agreeing with us, but just
Dear
in
Lord.
different words.
Dear Lord.
So I'm just
Dear Lord.
asking you. At what point
Dear Lord.
are we just going to say we agree?
Dear
You
Lord.
just didn't like how we worded it.
No, do you know what? I'm not even going to bother because we're going to end up here for 2 hours. All I will do is put the
So
footage of
you
what was
agree?
said, and that's
So
it.
you agree?
I absolutely 100%
disagree?
disagree with what you're
Okay,
saying.
you disagree.
You're talking nonsense.
Right, okay, so
Stokes,
the team,
you're making a point.
It's not Arteta's fault. The team got over complacent.
I
and
didn't.
overconfident
I
and
did.
stuff.
You see that you're just putting words in my mouth. That's not what happened. But
No,
I want to go to
that-
Stokes'
that's
point
what you
because
were
we're
just
going to be
doing
here
to
for
me,
1 hour.
so-
No, I'm going to put the
It's
footage on
annoying,
there. Don't
isn't
worry.
it?
I'll
It's
put the
annoying,
footage.
isn't it? It's annoying.
It's annoying when guys talk nonsense,
It's
and then
annoying.
rather than say,
Yeah,
"Oh
I
yeah,
know,
my
'cause
bad,"
you do
I'll
it
get
all
it
the
wrong.
time. It's annoying.
They backtrack 4 times. They backtrack 4 times. Say, "Oh yeah, I
No,
meant
we
this.
haven't.
Oh yeah, I meant that.
We
oh yeah, I
haven't.
meant
We've
this."
literally said the
It's
same
cool.
point
They'll
with different
watch,
words.
They'll watch and see. Stokes, you want to say something? It's cool.
No, the interesting thing about Arsenal is for me when he was more kind of erratic and up and down, blah, 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 doing this, doing that. He'd also towards the end of games, he'd be that guy where he would just bring on an extra centre back, lock it up, make more kind of sensible, less egotistical decisions, I guess. And towards the end of the season, he's been doing less and less of that. And I don't know if that's a thing that Arsenal fans agree with, but I feel like
It's hard
as
to
you
bring
guys
on
have got
Holding
better and
when he's
better.
starting. To be fair, innit? It's
No,
hard
of
to bring
course,
on
but-
when he's in the
but
starting 11.
you've
Man.
got that. You've
got
got
nothing
that
left.
Kiwi guy and whatever. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
As
No,
long as-
I think stubbornness is definitely an issue. I
Stubbornness,
think
yeah.
he needed
Yeah.
to accept from the very first moment that Rob Holding played he played Palace. He was okay. After the second game, it's like, okay, cool, bro. Let me just trust this kill your guy. I think stubbornness definitely is an issue, but whatever nonsense they were talking about, it is what it is. Anyway, we have two managers left, so let us get on to our top 2. Now, this one, I mean, the third guy is going to get mentioned quite a bit here, but here we go anyway. Second place, it's a man who got completely bossed by Arteta in his own backyard, Eddie Howe. 1 point above Mikel Arteta. I am fascinated by this because most people, I say most, not everyone, most people had Arsenal not to be top 4, 5. They had him like 6th, 7th. They had Newcastle about 7th, 8th. There's a 1 position gap between them and about 1 billion points in between them as well. So it's interesting.
So with Eddie Howe, and even if I was completely unbiased, by the way, I'd have Arteta third. With Eddie Howe, I feel like you look at the point where he inherited the team, right? They were genuinely
I don't
going
get
to
why
get
guys
relegated.
always say this though, because this
Why?
bro, this is not what this season is. It's not about what.
No, but it
happened
don't.
when they inherited the team.
But it is because it all ties into expectation, right? So
No, because
you
the
look
season
into-
ended last season. He came in during the season. The season
no,
finished.
I
So we look at
I
where-
know, but you've got to take that into account that they were that bad and they didn't make many signings at all. I don't think anyone actually realistically expected it to be this soon, and he's done an unbelievable job. The development of Willock, ASM looks a different player than he did when he plays, and Almiron's another one where he's just seems to be getting a very good shift from his players, and they've all bought into his style, and I think he's a really good gaffer. Yeah, solid.
Yeah, fascinating. You just described a lot of. I'm not going to comment. It's fine. Mav, over to you, pal.
Yeah, again, I kind of echo what Stokes said. Again, I think taking a mid-table team that he has into the position that he has with the player quality that he's got, For me, that puts him above him. You know, you've got Joe Linton, and I know this was last season, but again, he's gone on to have a good season again this season.
And I've got Eddie Howe as third, so it's not as though I'm disgracing him or anything. My issue is that people are bringing up things that happened like beforehand. So you just mentioned like Joe Willett, for example, yeah. Bro, last season the guy scored 8 goals, 8 games. It's not as though Joe Willett was like some bum.
Nah,
and
but
then, like,
he wasn't during that patch. He wasn't playing as well as he is now.
Joe Willett was playing good. It was one of the reasons why they started flying up the table. From when they were.
He was scoring, yeah, but his performances.
Okay, and likewise, Joe Linton. We can say Joe Linton was bad as well, because Joe Linton was also very good last season from when Eddie Howe came. And again, credit to Eddie Howe for doing that, because most guys maybe would have given up on him. But if I'm talking manager of the season, then whatever they did midway through last season has no relevance to me. I'm not gonna start bringing up how we binned off like Amenyah or something, and then we trusted our other young players, because that wasn't this season.
But then again,
he failed to score a single goal at the Emirates and at home against us. So,
then again, the Joe Linton and the Willock performing this season, yes, they might have started it last season, but they've continued it this season, right? So yes, I get what you're saying, but it doesn't really matter. We've said Newcastle probably won't finish top 4 now because of injuries and because of players not being available and their form looking down, but they're straight back up there.
They're still not safe, by the way, just so you guys know.
I know he's not, but they're in a
while
position.
the team above them is like 1 million points ahead of them.
They're in a position when realistically he should never be with that team.
I agree.
He just shouldn't be there. So
Ali, the voice of reason, mate. You've got Arteta above Eddie Howe. But I guess chat about Eddie Howe.
You don't watch Newcastle.
I don't know how, but I've apparently become the guy that's anti-Newcastle here. So I'm going to lean into it and say, like, I hear that they're doing very well in it, but are Newcastle like actually massively overachieving? Like, if you take out before the season, if you take out Newcastle, Liverpool, and Chelsea, then I feel like Newcastle are going to be one of the teams you're talking about for that European sports kind of.
Bro, they were talking about who are Newcastle going to kick out the top 6? Are they going to kick out Arsenal?
If teams performed the year Leicester won the league, then they wouldn't have won the league.
That's what I'm saying. They're not in the top 4. They're not in the top. It doesn't make him a bad manager, but it doesn't make him excessively massive, like a good manager, because he's there because of other teams not doing as well as they should be. For being honest,
they were talking about is Newcastle going to be the team to kick out Arsenal from the top 6 at the start of the season? By the way, they were making the graphics of Arsenal no longer top 6. Newcastle going to break that this season. So
but
their expectations were wildly different. Like based on what the media was
Sky Sports.
The guys that are giving all their opinions from Sky Sports, I'd like to think that's what I'm hearing.
But who's that?
Eventually, I feel like they do need to upgrade to a top.
Why?
But
because they're going to need a top manager if you want to be one of the
next
best.
season, for all we know. Like, that's so hypothetical. We are judging it off this season, so it doesn't matter what happens next. It's irrelevant.
Eddie Howe, congrats, man. Congrats. Your 2 biggest days out. At home against Arsenal, you lost. Cup final against United, you lost. But fair play. Number 1. This is fascinating here. Because, let me read out the points. I gave this manager 10 points, believe it or not. Stokes gave him 10 points. Mav gave him 10 points. Ali gave him 10 points. So all 4 of us gave him 10. But he didn't get a 90. Because funnily enough, out of Alfie, Tyler, Jamie, CJ, and Haf, 0 people gave him 10 points.
Yeah.
All 5 of them.
I can't be asked.
It is Pep Guardiola with 80 points overall.
Can't be asked.
Did anyone have him below second or no?
Yes. So Alfie, Tyler, and Haf have him second. Jamie has him third, and CJ has him in 6th place. And funnily enough, actually, he gave me his reasonings for each place. He wrote me a whole paragraph, so I can read it to you if you like. He said, just a footballing robot and megamind. Every time he thinks City might drop off, they'll go on a 50-game unbeaten run. I'd mark him higher, but their resources dwarf everyone in the league, and he has KDB and Haaland. I expect nothing less than them winning the league every single year. The fact Arsenal pushed them so close is a compliment to Arteta, if anything. There you go.
That's insane.
How does he?
I said he's a footballing mega man. That's
worse than what I said about Arsenal.
That is, you've actually been. How have you?
But he's a Palace
fan. How have you been outplayed by someone?
Okay, so what was wrong with what he said?
What was right with what he said? So his point is,
you expect him to win the year every year.
He's like an incredible manager. But that makes him bad, is basically what his paragraph
Where did he
said.
say that he's bad? He didn't say he's bad.
No, but he put him 6th, bro. That is like, you might as well just say I don't rate you that much. 6th.
Put him 6th, but then listed hella reasons as to why he's a shout for number 1.
He didn't technically say bad, but come on, you put him 6th.
He's called him a footballing mega mind as well.
How can that be? In your
What kind of
paragraph
compliment
when you
is
don't put
that?
him first? Like,
Well,
I just-
because
Man
on
said
the
he'll just win
criteria, if
15
we're gonna hear
games
him
on a
out
row.
on the criteria, what they, actually he wrote 50,000 game unbeaten run, but I just said 50 because I was too lazy. But like on the criteria, did he overachieve? Like,
come on,
How
man.
can-
Yeah, but is it
Come
possible
on,
for him to
man.
overachieve?
How can you overachieve?
by the
Your
way,
go
point.
invincible.
With that
If you're bad, go
sentence,
invincible.
Amenyah, you're basically confirming that Stokes was right to put O'Neal where he was. But no, I'm
Well,
sorry.
no, because Marco Silva's still
Marco
ahead of him.
Silva.
Marco Silva. That makes my point even more so. Marco Silva's still
Silva
better.
has a worse team than Amenyah. So it's one of them.
Obviously, all of us gave Pep our maximum, so I'll tell you where these guys went. CJ went with Eddie Howe number 1, so did Jamie. Half went Arteta number 1, shout out him, very unbiased. Tyler went with De Zerbi and Alfie.
De Zerbi is the number 1 manager of the year.
Who
Is
did
that what he's
Alfie
trying to
put?
say?
Alfie's put Gary O'Neil number 1 manager of the season, bro.
Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, cool, man.
Gary-
This is my point.
Oh,
This is my
is
point.
it Alfie that also put Sean Dyche in? Yeah.
This is my point.
Yeah.
Like,
Sean Dyche and Gary O'Neil.
people are gonna say to me that
Brexit. Oh.
Pep shouldn't be first because we expect it, and to me that is what makes them wrong, because the fact that you expect it is what describes the man and describes why he is the best manager in the Prem, and arguably could end his career above Sir Alex Ferguson if he keeps going
Yeah,
this
he
way.
probably,
Whoa.
he probably is.
Could.
No, he's right. He probably,
Whoa.
he knows right.
No, he
Hey,
can,
that
and
ship
that's the
has
reality. That's the
sailed.
reality, and
That ship's gone, bro. That
and-
ship's gone, but fair enough.
it definitely ain't. But anyway, yeah, so how can he not be the best manager in the league? Let's be honest, it's not like they've spent billions and the others have spent nothing. Come on, let's not do that. Like the team, most
Ten
of the
Hag,
teams
for
in the
example,
Prem.
spent a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, Ten Hag spent a lot.
for example.
I mean, let's not talk about Chelsea's spend. Of course, by golly, Liverpool are probably not there this season because their lack of spending, but previous to that, they spent. Like it's the same narrative. Haaland comes to the league, he's not going to do that well. Starts doing well. Oh, it's expected. Like it's just constantly. Oh, Grealish isn't that great. He transforms him this season. Oh well, Grealish was meant to be good, even though it's just the same stuff, isn't it? This is arguably the best Prem team of all time.
Stokes, what do you think of Pep now seemingly about to eclipse Fergie's legacy? I call him Fergie because the Sir is gone now. Pep's kind of taking that one.
Nah, I mean, I think if he does get the treble this year, it's hard to argue against it. What can you really say? I mean, even with his development of like someone like Gundogan this season, like he's on to another level. He's reinvented the wheel at City like 3 or 4 times. Like he's brought in these kind of people like Nathan Ake, like John Stones playing off the right back coming in, and then you've got a complete switch up from the fast wingers to the slow, like methodical playmaker wingers, and he keeps doing different things, and it's the same result every season.
We need to get rid of this guy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he used to be. I used to kind of think he just had one plan, played one style, and if he found that out, then he couldn't really do anything else like Tuchel done. But you know what I mean? He's shown this season that he can adapt. He's a bit creative with it, and he's managed to find a way to beat this Arsenal team to the title. So he's actually done really well this
I
season.
mean, it's
Surprised
not
me
finished
in a
yet.
way.
Let's be honest, guys. It's not finished yet. There's still 3 games. To go. Yeah, he still has to go to Chelsea. So come on, guys. Let's be a bit fair.
Bro,
But no.
we're giving them a card of honor before the game.
I hear it. Fair enough, man. All right. But yeah, our final top 10, real quick. We have Klopp in 10th, Thomas Frank, Ten Hag in 8th place. Wow, what a bad manager. 7th place, O'Neil, despite Stokes' efforts. 6th, Marco Silva. 5th, Emery. 4th, De Zerbi. 3rd, Arteta. 2nd place, Eddie Howe. And number 1, Pep Guardiola. Everyone's list will be on the screen for you to scrutinize and cook whoever you want to. Feel free. Leave a like, leave a comment on what your top 10 would be. Who do you agree with? Who had the biggest howlers of the episode? Subscribe as per usual. Much love. Go follow all these men on their socials if you haven't already. In a bit.